Have you ever wondered what's caused a recent decrease in gas prices? Well, one of the main reasons is a new mining technology called hydraulic fracturing or fracking. Today I'm going to be talking about fracking, what it is, how it's used, and some of the pros and cons about it. And my credibility on this topic is a couple years ago I had to do a big research paper about this, so I've done a lot of research on this topic before. So what exactly is fracking? Well, it's a mining technique used to access oil and natural gas in places like shale that you can't really access with traditional drilling methods. And so it started back actually in the 1940s, in the late 1940s, when it first discovered when fracking was used to stimulate traditional oil wells, and actually increased their productivity by 75%. So then they did some more research onto that, and now it's really evolved into the modern day into a whole new mining technology. And so the way it works is first they'll construct a drill pad over their drill site, and they'll drill straight down until they hit the shale where their natural gas or oil, whatever it is they're trying to mine for is. After that point, they'll drill off in kind of an L shape, and that'll give them until they hit a bigger pocket of wherever they're trying to get to. And then they pump in a mixture of fracking fluid, which is a mixture of sand, water, and then a bunch of chemicals at a really high pressure that's actually high enough so it fractures the shale rock that they're trying to frack from. And then at that point, the oil and natural gas starts to diffuse out, and it'll diffuse up and it'll head up through the well to the surface where it can be collected relatively easily. And then it's different than traditional mining methods or drilling methods, because whereas those usually you get a well and it goes for a couple of years and you kind of get a slow stream out of fracking, it just sends up a ton of it really fast. And then after that, the well's done, it's all dried up. So it's been in the news recently. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not we should allow fracking or shouldn't allow fracking, or there should be more rules and stuff in place on it. So some of the big cons that people see with fracking, a lot of it has to do with the environment. One of the biggest reasons is they use hundreds of different chemicals when they pump the water in, and a lot of those can be poisonous or bad for people to inhale. And the problem comes because they drill right underneath the aquifers usually people get their drinking water out of. Sometimes the water from fracking will actually seep into that and pollute that. So then when people are drinking that water, they're getting a bunch of chemicals and stuff with it that can make people, there's been reports of people getting really sick from what they believe is fracking. And the companies themselves don't actually have to disclose any of the chemicals they use. So they could just be pumping who knows what into that, and you go ask them, they don't have to tell you anything. They can keep it all a secret. And they usually don't deny any relation to them and polluting the groundwater. And another major problem is people see with their leaks is that they're using up to 35 million gallons of water per well, which is a lot of water, and they're using freshwater resources around them. People are worried that they're going to deplete the freshwater really fast because, like I said earlier, they're putting in tons of chemicals into this, so it's really gets really polluted, and it's very bad for the environment. And they can't really recover that water, and they'll usually leave about 30 to 70% of it in the well. They won't take that out and again after they seal it up, so that'll just be kind of sitting down there. They could actually go through and pollute more stuff still even after they close it up. And then another problem people have with it is they say fracking is very loud and it creates a lot of noises, distractions, and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of noise and light pollution from it, and people that live near fracking really hate that. The fact that it's causing all this, and they complain about that aspect of it quite a bit, because there'll be a lot of times they'll go near people's homes where they're actually fracking. And that's one of the pros of it actually is when they go into frack, they'll a lot of times pay out. They paid out trillions worth of dollars to people to be allowed to use their land to frack. If people own land that there's oil and natural gas under, they'll pay you tons of money to be able to use that. And then really the biggest pro when people talk about this is there's enough fossil fuels in the U.S. locked in shale and other places that are accessible by fracking that we didn't have access to before, that they think that we could actually become energy independent in the future by using this method. We continue to use it and mine all that up, so we wouldn't need to buy our oil from places like the Middle East or other countries like that. And that's been kind of a big goal or a big talk recently in politics, so that's a really big deal. And then another of the major pros that people talk about with this is that it creates a lot of job growth, because there's been, especially in places like North Dakota recently where fracking's been used pretty heavily, they've created tons and tons of jobs for people, because this oil industry is really booming. It's really like exploding. So they need a lot of workers, and those jobs pay up to like sometimes 6 figures a year. So this pays really well, and so people can make a good living if they go out and work like that. And another thing is they've also created in this year, or last year, like $17 billion worth of GDP by exporting oil and natural gas that they access through fracking. So like I said, it's created a lot of money, and there's a lot of money there that people are kind of getting with this new method. But yeah, so hopefully today you've learned some more things about fracking. You know some more about this new method of drilling. You're better educated about it. So like I said, it's been in the news a lot recently, and there's a lot of debate about whether or not should we allow fracking, should we not allow fracking, should there be more regulations on it. So hopefully I've given you some background information. You can kind of make up your own